Istanbul is one of the most fascinating cruise ports in the Mediterranean, filled with history, culture, and elegance. But what should you do if you've already explored the mosques and the bazaars? Hi, I'm Bonnie from Voyage Cruise and Travel, and with over 52 cruises and 72 countries behind me, I love helping travelers feel confident and prepared before they even step off the ship. Today's video is a change of pace from the Day 1 Istanbul adventure. Instead of the mosques, markets, and tourist crowds, I joined a celebrity silhouette shore excursion to the peaceful gardens of the Dolmabahce Palace, a palace fit for sultans. We ended with high tea at the historic Pera Palace Hotel, where Agatha Christie once stayed writing murder on the Orient Express. If you missed my first Istanbul video, I covered what it's like at the Galataport cruise terminal and how to get into the historic center. I'll link that below. For today's experience, I joined a celebrity silhouette shore excursion, which made everything seamless. All the entry fees were included, there were no lines to wait in, and we were among the first guests to arrive at both the palace and the Pera Palace Hotel. So all our Istanbul shore excursions, you have to meet outside. Well, it's not really outside, it's downstairs in a parking lot because this whole port is underground. It was about a 5-hour tour, and honestly, it was an easy half-day adventure, ideal for anyone who wants a more relaxed way to experience Istanbul. You just go to the garage and find your bus, or they direct you, so it's a little different. This is a later afternoon, it's 12:30. We're going to go to a palace, and then we're going to go to an afternoon tea, kind of like an English tea, so that should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Our first stop was the magnificent Dolmabahce Palace, located right on the Bosphorus. This is the major soccer stadium. Super popular and busy.
Since 1927.
Built in 1856, this palace has 285 rooms, 46 halls, and covers 62 acres. It's prayer time in Istanbul. There's something like 18 million people here and a lot of mosques. There's a Muslim community. It's the final administrative center of the Ottoman Empire, a house for the sultans, and one of the most elegant palaces that you'll see anywhere. This reminds me so much of St. Petersburg or any major palace. They call this the Paris. This was the Paris of this area. And nice gardens, a lot of open space. It's very pretty. Inside you'll find baccarat crystal staircases, gold leaf ceilings, and an enormous ceremonial hall that could hold 2,500 guests. The palace even has one of the largest chandeliers in the world. It's absolutely beautiful. We were required to wear shoe coverings, which were provided, and photography was not allowed inside. I did try to take a few pictures here and there, but we were told that due to security concerns, they wanted to protect the valuable images inside, and they needed to maintain the flow of people walking by to keep the lines moving. So that was why they would not allow it. Amazing place. We just couldn't take pictures inside, which was unfortunate. Amazing. It's a lot like Palace of Versailles because there's a Parisian influence. Definitely very regal, and it was a residence of someone before they passed on in, I think, the 40s. It's not a residence now of anybody. These doors are huge. It's a beautiful grounds, I have to give it that much. Sad you can't take pictures inside, but I don't know, maybe they're preserving it for a reason like that. Outside the palace, the white iron gates, the fountains, gardens, all overlooking the Bosphorus were really picture perfect. There was also a harem section open to the public for a small additional fee, though our tour didn't include that portion. Classical music's playing throughout the garden, playing some recognizable songs here. So it wasn't just a photo stop. We really had time to wander the grounds, enjoy the views, and learn about the sultans and their way of life. I definitely would recommend it. If you're cruising on Celebrity, the Shore Excursion is a wonderful way to spend your second day in Istanbul, especially if you've already seen some of the more historic sites like Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque, and the Grand Bazaar. If you're visiting independently, buy your tickets online in advance. There can be long lines, and this would help you get to the front of that line. Remember, there's no mobile access allowed inside the Dolmabahce Palace, so download your tickets and maps ahead of time. And another practical tip would be to always bring an umbrella. October weather in Istanbul can change quickly, and we had a few showers. And keep in mind that sometimes the palace does close sections for renovation. In fact, the staircase that was pretty grand was closed when we were there. While Dolmabahce Palace is an easy visit with a tour, it is not suitable for walkers or wheelchairs. There are stairs, narrow corridors, and uneven parquet floors with rugs. You'll walk about 0.7 miles total and climb 40 to 50 steps throughout the visit. So if mobility is a concern, you might enjoy visiting the gardens outside instead, or opt for a less demanding activity like a Bosphorus dinner cruise, and I'll talk about that later. After leaving the palace, we drove to the Pera Palace Hotel, which was a true icon of old Istanbul. Built in 1892, this elegant Art Nouveau hotel welcomed European travelers arriving on the Orient Express. The atmosphere feels like stepping onto a movie set. There's chandeliers, velvet chairs, and rich red and gold tones everywhere. The Kubeli Lounge hosts a traditional afternoon tea from 3 to 6 daily, and it's accompanied by a live pianist. The tea is buffet style, not the tiered trays you might expect, but beautifully presented with finger sandwiches, scones, pastries, and desserts. You can help yourself and enjoy the music in this gorgeous setting. But this is modeled after the Orient Express Agatha Christie book, and it really looks like it. It looks exactly like it. As a fan of Agatha Christie books, I was surprised and delighted to learn that she often stayed at this hotel. In fact, room 411 is said to have been her favorite, and she reportedly wrote parts of Murder on the Orient Express during her visits. So today you can even request to stay in that room, and it's decorated with period furniture, a replica typewriter, and memorabilia honoring her legacy. Take a picture of the food. It's so beautiful. That's kind of the idea of what we're getting here. But this is like 3 or 4 sides of just such pretty little sandwiches, and the cream and jelly, and everything's so beautiful. You can go to the Hotel Pera Palace on your own, and if you plan to do this, you can make reservations directly online with them, and the cost is around 2,500 Turkish lira, which is roughly around $60, and they do welcome outside guests. It's a pretty beautiful hotel here. If you're not up for another long day of walking or just want something different, I noticed quite a few dinner cruises on the Bosphorus from my ship, and you'll see, if you do decide to do something like this, you'll see Istanbul's skyline lit up at night, including the Galata Tower and the Bosphorus Bridge, from your own private table. Many of these cruises have live music, a nice dinner menu, and a hotel pickup option. I did note that one even departs from a hotel that was just across the street from the cruise port, so it could be a great way to enjoy the city lights in comfort. They would pick you up at that hotel, so you just have to walk over. But just be sure to check the access details if mobility is a concern. It is a wonderful option for travelers who are having an overnight in Istanbul and they prefer a low mobility experience but still want that Istanbul magic. You can find it linked in the description below. This was one of my favorite days in Istanbul, elegant, easy-paced, and full of history. The Dolmabahce Palace was a true highlight, and finishing with high tea at the Pera Palace Hotel felt like something straight out of a novel. If you'd like to see more from this sailing, I have a full celebrity silhouette playlist covering the ship, dining, and all my port days. You can find it linked in the description below. It was my pleasure showing you Istanbul, and I hope that I gave you some ideas of what else you can do in Istanbul aside from the typical things. This was a little bit different and really enjoyable. I really liked it. If you have found this helpful, informative, or you learned something, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for more cruise tips and travel information. Thank you so much for watching. Happy cruising, and until next time.